Welcome back to Stop Losing Women. I'm your host, Terry Wilmington, and today I want to talk about how dudes mess up reconnections with women from their past. So, as you get older, there's going to be an interesting phenomenon that happens, and that's going to be this, is that there are going to be women that you met either in your younger years or in your college years, or maybe even at your first couple of jobs, whereby maybe you were flirtatious with her, maybe you guys even dated for a while or hooked up or whatever, and then there's going to be a break. You move someplace or she moves someplace, you guys end up going to different graduate schools, you move back to home and she moves across the country or whatever, and you guys just end up just living your lives, right? Cut to like 5, 6, 10 years later, however it happens, whether you guys reconnect on social media or you're walking in a store one day and you happen to bump into her, or she sends you a random message just because she ran across your social media and was like, hey, what's going on? There's going to be a point in time where at least one or two girls from your past are going to come into contact with you again, and it could potentially be on and popping. It could potentially be on and popping. What I have found is that when this happens, most guys end up fumbling this. And so I'm going to go over a post that I saw whereby this guy reconnected with this woman. And up to this point, things are going pretty well. But I can already see where this is going to start to go sideways for him and what he needs to do to prevent that from happening if he wants to actually reconnect with this woman. And I hope that you guys learn something from this, so that way when that girl from your past inevitably comes across your way again and you want to try to hook up with her or be in a relationship or whatever, because I've done this several times now, including with the person I'm now married to, you will know what to do and you won't fumble it, all right? And by the way, you want more tips like this, go to stoplosingwomen.com. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can also go there to check out my Get Girls Academy, as well as my ebook, Stop Losing Women. So with all that said, let's get into this person's post. So he says, a couple of years ago, I got into university. I had no prior experience with dating and was pretty bad at socializing. One time, a girl approached me and got my contact info. Notice she approached him. So again, you guys are worrying about like, what do I say? What do I do? You should always have in your arsenal things that you can say if you want to go out there and approach. But if you know how to present yourself in the world the right way, women that find you attractive will come up to you and approach you and talk to you and give you their number. Funny how that works. Anyway, he says, we started talking and got really close. We both really like each other, but we never got into a relationship, even though we talked about it. But I think I talked about it pretty late. Eventually, we stopped talking. After some reflection, I really liked her. Unfortunately, I wasn't clear about my feelings back then. I thought I was showing interest through small actions, but looking back, it wasn't obvious at all. Well, most guys think, okay, I'll make a little minor move here. She'll know that I like her, and that's not typically how that goes. But to the point, as the guy, you're supposed to be the one that's making bolder moves and is more direct. So there's none of this like, hey, we should like hang out and go to a movie. It's like, hey, I want to take you on a date for Friday at 7 o'clock, and we can either go here or here. Let me know what you want to do. Like, you got to be that bold with it, because that's going to allow her to understand the mind frame she needs to have when she's interacting with you. It's just going to be on some friendship stuff, on some situation type stuff, or on some, oh, we're trying to gear this towards a relationship, and that can shift her mind to start looking at things from that perspective, all right? You trying to hit little things. Hinting is what women do. So you're, in essence, putting out their feminine energy anytime you're just trying to hint at things with women. They're going to be the ones that hint, and it's your job as a guy to understand what their hints are, but it's your job also to be more direct. And this doesn't mean, by the way, you got to say, hey, I have feelings for you. And I want, no. Something simple is like, hey, I want to go on a date with you. Let's hook that up. That'll let her know all she needs to know, but she needs to know it's effectively that what you guys are doing when you hang out is called a date, not just hanging out and doing whatever. Anyway, he says he fumbled hard, not blaming myself. It was my mistake, but I just didn't know what I was doing. Fast forward 2 years later, I graduated, started my master's degree, and got a job that put me on projects with some big tech companies. I've also worked on my social skills and feel like I've matured emotionally. Still not the best, but I've learned a lot. Well, you're still relatively young, so you got time to grow into that. But as long as you notice that there are things with regards to your emotional intelligence that you need to improve on, then that means you'll be doing the work, and that's always a good thing. He says, I tried talking to other girls and going on dates, but she was always on my mind. Recently, I reached out to her again. She moved to another town, but last week she texted me saying she'd be in town for the weekend. So he says, we decided to hang out. So I want to let you know what actually happened here. All right. So this guy, after all these years, reached back out to her. Right. And isn't it funny how he reached out to her and all of a sudden, oh, I just happened to be going out your way this weekend. What does that tell you? That tells you whatever she was doing in life, she rearranged her schedule specifically to come in and see this guy. Now, she doesn't phrase it like that, right? But this is where you as a guy got to start understanding simple principles about women. And one of them is that women vote with their feet and with their actions, right? So he's probably thinking, she just happens to have to come to where I live this week. And it's just pure coincidence, even though she ain't been there in like 4 or 5 years. But now all of a sudden she just has to go, right? So you as a guy gotta start looking for positive signals that women are throwing out there that indicate that she's actually leaning towards still having a level of interest. All right. Like you got to look at these positives as if she's taking steps towards you and she's doing stuff that would be out of her way to do in order to see you, then those are all positive things. And you read them as such. So you know, okay, she's throwing a big signal by somebody just coming into town and happening to only see me. Like, that's pretty huge, dude. And at which point you got to ask yourself, what's the next move that you make when she's there? He said, we decided to hang out. We've been texting beforehand. She told me I should come and live closer to her, sent me pictures, and I was complimenting and flirting with her. Now, her saying that he should come and live closer to her, again, women that like you help you. She's basically saying, oh no, I would love for you to be near me and we can hang out and do a lot more stuff. Now, I will say, as a guy, I've always seen it happen rarely where the guy moves to where the woman is and it work out great. Like, because again, as a guy, most women are looking for you to lead the interaction and lead where their situation is going. And that also speaks to where you guys live. So if your life is set up to where you have an active job, where you like where you work, you like your friends that you have, you do not move. If she likes you enough, and she realizes you're the love of her life, she will make that move at some point, right? Now, right now, it seems like this long distance. I don't believe in doing long distance, but also, if she's cool, just like flying in occasionally and banging your brains out, I would not turn that down. If she gets tired of doing that and realizes she wants a real relationship at some point, then she can be the one to have the conversation about, so if I like came and lived in your town, like what would that look like or how would that feel to you? Like let her be the one to bring in that conversation. In the meantime, you have all the fun in the world with her. So he says, when we met up, we talked about life, careers, relationships, and everything that's happened. It went pretty well, even though I still get nervous around her, haha. She offered to pay, but I insisted on covering everything. Then I walked her home. We hugged and I left. She offered to pay. So now what has she done so far? She came to your town. She wants you to move near her. She came and saw you, and then she had offered to pay for the food. These are all positive stuff. See the guy, and this is what happens as guys, right? Is we start thinking that we have to always prove to women that we like them. We have to show them that we want them because we don't think they're going to want us. And we ignore the part where women that like us are showing us all the signals. And then when they do the signals, we misread them as they're just being friendly. They do this with everybody just because it's not just for me. It's how she would do it with all people. I'm telling you, it is not what she would do with all people. She's doing all these things because she has high interest, and she's doing this as a way to get you to see, hey, dummy, I like you. What's going on? Up to this point, this guy is unassumingly unaware that he's actually had made all the right moves, basically by like letting her make all the moves, letting her be the one to come to him, letting her be the one to offer to pay, like all these things. She's made all these moves. He's just been open to when she says these things and does these things, right? So here's where guys start to make minor mistakes that could lead to bigger mistakes later. So he says, I had a gift for her, something I used to give her back when we first met, but I forgot it. So I called and told her I'd bring it over since she was leaving the next morning. She said her dad was home and it might cause a scene, so we agreed to meet in the morning instead. I texted her later saying it was nice hanging out, and she replied, yes, it was. It felt like we went out just yesterday, and said she already missed me. The next morning, I met her, gave her the gift, and we went on a little walk, talked a bit before I walked her home again. Before leaving, she said I was the only person she hung out with while she was in town, and she didn't even meet her friends. Later, she texted, "Thanks for the gift." So, all that sounds great, right? But the mistake he made was getting her the gift. Now, you're gonna hear that and think, but Harry, she ended up liking the gift. She invited him to meet up again so they could exchange the gift. She was able to say how much she liked them and or how much she missed him already and like enjoyed yesterday. But here's the thing, like right now, she's so full of high interest that him making a minor mistake isn't going to seem like a big deal, right? But these start to add up over time. So, what did he actually do? He got her a gift, he texted her again, and then he texted her some more, and they had banter on the phone, which I tell you guys, the phone is for setting dates. So, he's already doing the gift giving thing and the over talking on texting. And now in the next paragraph, he says, "I really want to make things right this time. Should I bring it up and talk about it since I feel like there's something between us? If so, how should I bring it up and any advice on how to move forward?" So now he's thinking and going to Reddit and saying, "Hey guys, should I tell her my feelings?" So let's add this up. He wants to give her gifts. He wants to overtext her. He wants to be a chatty Cathy on the phone. And then now he wants to try to bring up feelings. In spite of the fact that all the moves she's doing with regards to her showing interest have come without him having to say a single thing about how he feels. And so now he's going to deviate from that strategy and say, well, she's giving me all these, she's telling me all these things and saying she has all these feelings and this is now. So now I'm going to do the same to try to win her. And yet everything that he's done to win her is just being open to when she makes moves. And this is how you reconnected with the woman is going to get messed up. Because I've seen this time and time again where a guy be like, we reconnected, it's so great, we even hooked up, and then I told her we should have a real relationship, and crickets. And then the guy's like, I don't get it, because she was showing me all the signals and all the moves, and she was the one coming to me, and she was the one texting me, and she was the one saying she wanted to see me, and now I'm the only one she saw when she was in town, and she hooked up with me and all this other stuff. How is it that now I'm trying to give her those same things back, and she's like now rejecting me? And that's the point I'm trying to tell you guys, is that all the lies you've been told about how women need to hear from us, that we have feelings for them and that they're our whole world and that we want to do stuff, it doesn't matter. All that matters to them is how they feel. And so at the point that they feel like they want a relationship with you, they will come to you and say, hey, so, I came to your town last week and it was really, really fun. And so I was hoping you can come visit me. Also, like, so how are you feeling about me now? Like, let her be the one to seek that out. All women want to do is see you as the mysterious guy whose feelings she can't figure out, and that's going to make her have to ask you about those feelings as a result. Let her be the one to do that because she wants to do it. It is ingrained in her to be on a fact-finding mission for your feelings. At the point that you give up the game, hey, surprise, I have feelings, don't have to ask questions anymore, that's when they're like, one, oh, this isn't fun, and also, when you say you have feelings, it reads to them as like, you're already ready to marry her, you've already pinpointed her as the girlfriend, she has no flaws, and that applies pressure. And we don't want women feeling pressure. What we want them to do is come to you and start asking you things about where you're at, and are you seeing anybody else, and could you see me and you together, at which point you'll realize, oh, she now wants a relationship. And then you can go into, well, what does that mean to you? And then, we're clearly long distance. Like, how do you see that working out? And then you asking her questions is going to make her qualify to you how she thinks this could work. And that's how you make a reconnection with the woman go the distance, is that even if you have all these feelings for her and you have the hots, don't think that you're lying to her by not telling feelings, okay? Think of it as she's still figuring things out. You actually, with the reconnection, need time to see if she's still the person you even wanted, the same person that she was that you liked all those years ago. So you need time to reconfigure her out. And you know what? Women are okay with giving you that time. It's us guys that have a hard time being patient and just wanting what we want now and not being able to do this. Think about this. After one date, he is already ready to try to confess feelings to this girl and try to get her to be the girlfriend. And they figured out no logistics, but more importantly, she just reconnected with this guy. So even though he's thinking, but we have a past together, she has to relearn him on a whole new level. It's good that they had that past because she has like a foundation to start from, but she still needs time to go home, think about, it was great seeing him. He got me this gift. I guess it's cool, but like, how do I feel about the gift? How I feel about him? I've already mentioned him moving here, but how would I feel about possibly moving to him? Is he going to invite me to see him again sometime? Is he going to come visit me? Like, there's so many other questions that are in the air that she is willing to go through the journey of figuring out. Do not take that away from her by thinking, because I knew her before, I can just talk about feelings. You got to treat this girl like you're dating her for the first time. That means minimum 3 months of seeing each other and talking to each other and whatever before any of those things come up. And at that point, she'll be the one to bring it up. If you want your reconnection to be successful, let her bring up all the things and then you just respond. It really could be that simple. Dating does not have to be hard. We make it hard. Reconnections with women don't have to be hard. You just have to know that don't assume just because you knew her in the past that you can rush things now. That is not how any of this works. Me and the woman that I'm now married to, we knew each other in college. When we reconnected, I did not assume that we were dating right off the bat. We reconnected, we hooked up, had some good times together, and then over time, we decided to be in a relationship, okay? So I'm telling you from personal experience, if you rush this, you lose. So the moves this guy should be doing right now is she's going to get home, give her a few days, hit her up. Hey, so I was thinking of coming out to where you live in like a couple of weeks. Let me know when your schedule is free. Boom. All he should be doing is using the phone to set up the next date. Or hit her up. Hey, let me know next time you're in town. I have this great place I want to take us to. Just let me know when you're going to be free to be in town and we'll make something work out. That's it. Because I've also found that he's going to think that by reconnecting, it's totally cool to like text her and contact her every single day. And I've also done that. And within 30 days, girl was gone again. Why? Because even though she initiated most of the conversations, as I started to initiate more, she started to answer less and become less attracted to me. Okay. And that was a hard lesson because I thought she was really hot and attractive. I really wanted to be with her. But again, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to end up making the same mistake and trying to, rush things too soon. And then you're going to wonder, but she knew me and we had great chemistry. And then why isn't she staying? And it's because you have to treat this like a whole new relationship. You have not seen her for a long time. So it's good you have a foundation to start. But ultimately, you got to treat it as if you met her on day one. And she's going to need 3 months to get back to the feeling tone of like, oh, I want this to be a relationship. So hopefully, guys, that helps you out. And if you need more help, you can go to stoplosingwomen.com and sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can also check out my Get Girls Academy, which is my program that encapsulates all my best video and audio coaching put into one nice full academy, all right, for free right now in your browser. Anyway, that's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.